Welcome to Refuse to Lose. I am your host. My name is Joe Jordan. We're here on our weekend special, episode 2. And I have 3 great men with me. I have Jamo, Devinne, and Elijah. How y'all doing today, fellas?
I'm doing great, bro. Let's get this money.
Doing good. Ready to come here debate with my fellas. Get my hot takes.
Yes, sir. I'm good too, fam. Just glad to be here.
Awesome. All right, great. So the NBA season is around the corner. And listen, we're going to start talking about the 76ers. So let's get right into it, y'all. So the 76ers were eliminated by Atlanta Hawks Game 7. Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers had a lot of comments to say about Ben Simmons after the game. Late August, Ben Simmons had requested the trade to go anywhere outside of Philly. And then October 12th, it was reported that he arrived to the Philadelphia 76ers facility to do his COVID protocols. And today he's now eligible to play. So, J-Mo, I'm going to start with you. How far can Philly go with all these Ben Simmons distractions?
First off, represent. But honestly, I depending on Joel Embiid's health, I say second round. I don't see us Brooklyn. I don't see us beating them with Ben. Miami. I think Miami will beat us without Ben Simmons, and Milwaukee will also beat us without Ben Simmons. But everybody else in the East is fair play in a 7-game series when we have Joel Embiid. So I say the farthest we can go without Ben Simmons is the second round.
So I'll piggyback off of what Jamo had to say. Just a quick a bit. I do disagree some points there. I do feel like that the Brooklyn Nets are the only team that maybe can beat them. Outside of that, I have the 76ers getting to the Eastern Conference Finals only because Joel Embiid is so dominant if he plays the way he's supposed to play. Now, with that being said, with adding Ben Simmons into the mix, I'm not too sure how far they go because I feel like the damage is already done too bad to Ben Simmons, psyche. Especially not just with your players. Now, with the players, that's one thing, but when your coach does it too, there's a whole different thing. I'm not too sure if you guys seen, but Ben Simmons all over the media. Fans are yelling everything at him. So, he has to go back home to his family and things of that nature and see these things. And you never know how that affects a player. He already wasn't shooting in the playoffs, but you have a 5'10" guard in Trae Young. So now this year coming into it, I don't see how it works. Or they make it through February without trading Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I don't see the Sixers getting really far this year, and there's a number of reasons. One, the status of Ben Simmons is a serious kind of question mark, right? Is he going to come back? Is he going to get traded? And that weighs, the team around, weighs it down. Also, Joel Embiid is great, right? Arguably the best center in the league, him and maybe Jokic, right? But we're forgetting the East got some real power players right now, right? We made a lot of moves in this offseason. Chicago's looking up. They added DeMar, they added Lonzo. Boston is always here, right? You got Heat and a lot of the teams Jamo mentioned, right? I think a number of teams can beat them without Ben Simmons. Right. With him, they can maybe stand a chance. But without him, Joel can't carry the whole team on his back. They got Joel. They got Danny Green, Seth Curry, a few other role players. Tobias has been playing well. But I think last year was their window. They should not have lost to the Hawks. But, hey, this year we'll see. But the main thing they need to do is get Ben Simmons or trade him to get somebody nice to really, get the value out of that whole situation. But it's a disaster going on right now for the Sixers.
Okay, so what you said, Elijah, you said that, so Chicago, we got to see how they look first because
they look good. Have you seen
they have nobody. They have no answer for Embiid. None whatsoever. Embiid can average 40 against them.
Go ahead. They got the center from Orlando Magic.
No answer for Embiid. No answer at all.
Okay, but like I said,
No answer at all.
He can't carry the whole offense on his back.
He can. He can. That's what you failing to realize. Embiid is that good. Embiid, see, you can't say this about many people in the NBA. Embiid can be the best player in the NBA. Mm-hmm. He has best player in the league potential. It's only like 4 or 5 people you can say that about. Some people can be really like Jokic. You said him and Jokic are arguably the best. I don't think Jokic has a chance at being the best player in the NBA. I don't think he can ever be better than KD. He can never be better than Giannis. He can never be better. He's not athletic. He don't play defense. He don't impact the game on both ends of the floor like Joel Embiid does. Joel Embiid can take over the game on both ends of the floor. So unless you have tremendous star power, I think Embiid can guide us past a team like without, the major star power that Milwaukee and Brooklyn and even Miami. And the reason why I say Miami, they added Kyle Lowry, of course, and y'all two know I'm not a huge fan of Kyle Lowry, but Miami knows how to defend us. They know how to defend us. They know how to double down on Embiid and make him uncomfortable. Embiid can still do his thing, but Embiid can't dominate a Miami well-coached defensive team like he can dominate Chicago or Indiana or any of the other teams in the East that have no answer at all for Embiid. But I will give you some love for Chicago, though. Chicago just got way better offensively. I still got questions about how they're going to look defensively, to be honest with you. But they made some major moves. But to the Ben Simmons thing, let me get back to Ben Simmons. And I got love for both sides for this Ben Simmons thing. Now, one thing is that as a coach, you never put your player on Front Street like that. He said, I don't know if I can win with him. Now, afterwards, he said, I wasn't saying that I don't know. I was saying, like, I'm not answering that crap right now. Like, I don't know the answer to that. Some of me kind of understands, like, yeah, you can see that he was trying to say that. But at the same time, in the heat of the moment, nobody's thinking that he's saying that. Everybody's thinking that he's calling Ben Simmons out. And B also called him out, which, in public you can't do. But it got to be a reason. I don't know about Doc. Doc just got there. But it got to be a reason why Joel called him out publicly after playing with him all these years. Like, Ben has no sense of accountability. He won't look in the mirror. Never has he said that it's his fault. After the game, one of the female reporters asked him about that layup or about how he don't shoot the ball. And he said, I'm not going to let you say that. I had a bad game. He making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Some of these players get called out by these reporters that don't hoop. And they try to act like you don't hoop. You don't know what you're talking about. When really, I do know what I'm talking about because I just saw the game. I just saw what you did. You know what I'm saying? So I understand both sides because, like, Ben has to have some type of accountability. He's not looking in the mirror. And the reports even came out that everybody around him is family. He's spoiled. Nobody, holds the fire to his feet. Nobody holds him accountable. He been getting everything handed to him his whole life is basically what they're saying. So, yeah, that's my take. That's what I had to add.
And just to jump on that, I do agree with you saying as far as Ben Simmons is spoiled. If you go back and if you watch the LSU documentary when he was coming out of college, you can see that a lot of things was handed to him, how his attitude was about even going to class. And I'm not doing this because I'm just going to the NBA. I don't need this. I don't need that. I'm the man. And that's how he went to Philadelphia because he was so hyped up. He probably was the closest thing hyped up to like LeBron James. LeBron James was hyped up. He was compared to LeBron and Magic Johnson. And
Absolutely.
Me personally, I honestly believed he was going to be that. Now, it's two sides to it. I feel like Ben Simmons does have the right to be upset from what the team did and the coach and the players. But at the end of the day, I'm not too sure how long Ben Simmons has been in the league. What has it been? Close to 10 years? 9 years?
Who, Doc? Who you say been in the league?
Ben Simmons.
It's like his fourth or fifth year. It's like his fifth year. I think this is his fourth year playing, but he sat out the first year.
He came the year before. Don't mention that.
So basically,
like
he's been in the league long enough to develop some type of jump shot. It doesn't have to be the best. It's not even the jump shot that he needs to develop because I think he has a decent jump shot. He's not shooting the ball at all. and you can't just be on the floor and be that important to the team and not shoot the ball. Now, where the 76ers is messing up is he is one of the prominent defenders in the league. I mean, from 1 to 5, he can check everybody. I know he can check everybody from 1 to 5. So the team they remind me of, not exactly, but they remind me of the 2000 Pacers back in the early 2000s. You had a prominent defender in Ron Artest on the wing, and you had a not, I won't say dominant like Joel Embiid, but Jermaine O'Neal was one of the better big men in the league at the time. Then you sprinkle around some talent with Steven Jackson, Jamal Tinsley, Reggie Miller, Al Harrington, the Davis brothers. That's what the Sixers are to me somewhat, especially with Eddhan. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I personally think Ben Simmons is not going to finish the season there, but we shall see.
I mean, real quick, before you jump in, Elijah, I know you're about to say something.
Yeah.
But think about it, though, real quick. Ben Simmons has not gotten better since he's been in the league. He's been the same exact player. The only thing you could say that he got better in his defense, but I really just think that's because his body got bigger. Like he's grown into his NBA body. So outside of that, his skill set hasn't really got better. So me personally, the jump shot is one thing. Okay. But let's just say he don't shoot. If he just looked to score more often, he wouldn't have to shoot the ball. The reason why Giannis doesn't have to shoot the ball is because he's too dominant at what he does. He's too dominant in the paint. Nobody cares about his jump shot no more. He's too dominant. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it. I done DM Ben Simmons a couple times. He didn't read it though.
we can tell Jamo is biased because he's a fan, right? There's a few things that you said that I wanna address. First, talking about Ben Simmons, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. Ben Simmons is a star. He's a star, and I think because of his star status, it's allowing him to act like this. But we cannot negate what he brings to the table, right? First team all defense, right? He's an all-star with a selection at least 3 years, right? All these other accolades. We have to also remember the type of player he is. He's a pass-first point guard, right? He's looking to make his other teammates better. They do not pay him to shoot. They really don't even care if he does shoot. Now at 6'10", when most guards is really like 6'2" to maybe even 6'5" at the most at the point or two position that are guarding him, you can easily drop to the rack, right? So I agree with you there, Jamo. Bro, score, right? Help Embiid out. And the fact that we seen his performance, because a lot of people, a lot of Sixers fans and basketball fans, such as myself, gave him a pass for years because we're like, okay, you do so much else on the court. We don't care if you shoot, right? But this past playoff series in particular, where he had opportunities to capitalize and he did not, rubbed so many people the wrong way. Because listen, you've already been on thin ice. You're like, you should get a jump shot, but hey, we'll give you a pass this year. Hey, we see you shooting in the summer because he loves dropping them summer mixtapes. But hey, okay, we'll give you another pass. But this year, when you have, you said 5'10", he's at least 6 foot. Trae Young, when you have 6 foot Trae Young on you, you are 6'10". Lay the ball up, my brother.
Dunk it.
So obviously there's other issues in Philly, right? But Ben's a star. He's a talent, right? Any team would be grateful to have him, right? But what he's doing right now, he's damaging his draft stock because of all the shenanigans going on, right? So there's been talks of deals, but teams like, I don't know, because there's no accountability. We don't want this kind of spoiled brat on our program, right? Mm-hmm. We're not even talking about the Nets and Kyrie yet, but you can even talk about how that situation is going, how they feel like the same with him. He's spoiled. So there is great talent in the league, but it's about the person's character as well. It's about who you are and what you bring to the organization. So yes, Ben is a star on the court, but we can tell there's things going on in his psyche that are affecting his play. So if it's me and I'm the GM, listen, we either figure out an agreement, and there's been talks. He may I think Danny Green just said yesterday is like, if he apologizes, it's cool. If he comes back, it's cool. We'll welcome him back and work with him. Either you do that and Ben comes to his senses, or you move him, right? That's that on Ben. Now, Embiid, and the Sixers without Ben. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, Jamo. I'm sorry. It doesn't look good for them. Yes, they're a solid team. They may make it to the playoffs, may get out the first round, but Embiid's a star. And you say he has the potential to be the best in the league. That means you think he can be better than a LeBron or a KD. I wouldn't put him in that conversation just yet. Yes, he can shoot the three inconsistently. Yes, he can dominate in the paint. Yes, he can dominate on defense, but he's also injury prone, right? So can I count on him when I really need a bucket, right? And we know Embiid comes with his Twitter antics as well, right? So let's not forget who he is, Mr. Philly, right? Mr. Process. We've been trusting the process for how long now? So I don't want to hear it with Philly. I really do. You know, I love basketball. I'm a student of the game, but, you know, I really feel like they need to figure this out. And their window of opportunity is closing, right? Because Embiid is on the back end of his prime, right? He's declining, right? Because we've seen his peak, I think. I don't think you can get any better, Embiid. We've seen your peak. Now you need to make some moves now or else it's done.
How you on the back end of your prime and you was about to win MVP last year?
Yeah, I
He
think
was about to get MVP last year if he didn't get hurt. How you on the back end of your prime and you about to win MVP? This is the best he's ever been, if you ask me. He's in his prime right now. Mm-hmm. He averaged 30 last year. The best stats he had before this was 27. I think it was like the year 2018, I believe. He only played like 50-something games. But when he was healthy, 27, 14, and 3 blocks. Like when he's on the court, he is the toughest guard in the league.
He's a star. He's a star.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but he's not better than KD or LeBron.
Yeah, he's not better than KD right now. I'll give you that. But I'm saying he can be. How many people can you say that about? Embiid, he is one of the best, forget as a big man. He's one of the best mid-range shooter in the league, period. Including guards, forwards, and everybody. He's unstoppable in the paint. He stretches the floor. He's a prime time rim protector. Like he's great. But the beginning of my statement was depending on Joel Embiid's health. So if he's healthy, not like Atlanta last year when he was so-called hurt, when he's healthy, other than Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Miami, in a 7, and I told you I'll give you some love for Chicago. I just got to see how they look. But Indiana, Atlanta again, Charlotte, I got us over them in a 7-game series, bro. I'm telling you, they don't have the star power. I don't see Atlanta doing what they did last year ever again.
Atlanta just added some pieces though. So
like who?
We'll see. We'll see. They got a nice young rookie, Mr. Coop Sharif, a little baby Trae Young. On the back of, they added another young piece, a young man, I forget his name, but he's a wing, he's a 2-guard, right? And they made some trades. They still brought the virtual same team back. Capella's back. They got those shooters. Hunter is back. So Cam Reddish is doing his thing. So I like Atlanta. Nice young team, hungry. Let's not forget about my Knicks, right? I'm native New York. I was born in New York, right? They just added Kemba, what's his name? Mr. Randall. We need to figure his situation out, right? Because he went quiet on us in the playoffs. But we got a nice young RJ Barrett, Randall when he gets it together. Noel's there. So let's not forget about them either. So there's some pieces, there's some young, hungry teams. So it's gonna be a dogfight in the East, and I'm excited this year. But I'll give you the Sixers.
Awesome. All right, cool. I like that segment. So look, Ben Simmons, his rookie year, he averaged 14, 7 and 7. Last year, he averaged 15, 8 and 8. So almost the same numbers. And then Joel Embiid, his best year, 2018, he averaged 27, 13 and 3. Last year, he averaged 28, 10 and 2. All right, so I like that. But yeah, so we're going to end this segment. We're going to go into the next segment, but we're going to have a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about this new look Lakers with Russ. So stay around. We'll see y'all after the break. Yeah, I know. All right, so I challenged Meg Redwood that the Washington football team would beat the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, it didn't happen. We lost, so my wife is going to dump a bucket of water on me. So here we go. Golly, that was cold. That was more water than I thought too. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show. Now, before we continue with the show, I need you to do a few things for me. Number one, like this video. Very easy. Click the like button. Number two, subscribe. Very easy also. Hit the subscribe button. Number three, something else is easy. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified next time we put out a video. Number four, click the share button and share it to someone who you think would like this video. And last but not least, most important, continue enjoying the show. So the Lakers acquired Russell Westbrook this offseason and other players like Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, Wayne Ellington, Kendrick Nunn, and others. The Lakers finished the preseason 0-6. Russell Westbrook averaged more turnovers than assists, 5.8 turnovers a game, playing 25 minutes a game. But he is coming off his fourth triple-double in 5 years, and LeBron is entering his 19th year in the NBA. So, I'm going to ask you first, Devin. Will the Lakers and Russell Westbrook get it together this year?
So, what I feel about the Lakers and Russell Westbrook, I actually do feel like they can make it work. And the biggest reason I do feel like that is because of LeBron James being on the team. Now, I know, he had his problems in Cleveland with Kyrie Irving, but they went to the championship 3 straight years. If you look at Cleveland, if you look at the Brooklyn Nets right now, or any team he's been on, the Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, no team could seem to figure out how to play with him. He had a nice young core with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They couldn't figure it out. It seems right now that Kevin Durant, James Harden, they can't figure him out. And so I feel like LeBron James should get a lot of credit, for being able to work with him for all those years. Now, I know Russell Westbrook gets a hard knock on him. Kevin Durant, James Harden. He just went and played with Bradley Beal, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony. He had all these stars. But if you watch him game in and game out, he's one of the one guys who, I would say him and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they have a motor on them all game. The only difference is Russell Westbrook is going to have to cut down the turnovers. He really is. I think it's going to help him having Rondo and LeBron James, two of the best point guards. Even though LeBron, his position is interchangeable, but I consider him a point guard. But just two of the best basketball minds that have played the game to, expel him from dribbling the ball so much. He's going to have an Anthony Davis, which you don't have to do much, but just get it to him. And then you added not a young core, but a core of Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, Wayne Ellington, Kendrick Nunn, Trevor Ariza. So you got veterans, people who've been there before. So you ain't got to worry about teaching people like, Shai Gilgeous or just whoever he had on his team in the previous past. But if he doesn't cut down the turnovers, I'm not going to say I do not think they're going to get it done, because I think the team is too talented, and I think LeBron James is too smart. So I do have them going to the Western Conference Finals, but it could be going to the Western Conference Finals and losing there if Westbrook doesn't get it going, or it can be going all the way to the championships. So depending on how Westbrook does with his turnovers and realizing that I don't have to be the man and go 100% all game, that's what's going to happen.
I love it. I love the move. Russell is a star. He's a stud, Mr. Triple Double, right? And he's been like that for years. So now you put him in a situation where he doesn't have to be the man. He's back home. He wanted to be back home, so he can perform. He can chill, have family, come out to the games. That adds to the way a person plays. I love the Lakers' moves right now. They got Trevor Ariza back, Wayne Ellington. They added Rondo, Dwight, Melo, so many different weapons. The thing I love about the Lakers is their basketball IQ, right? Experience. So many. I seen like a meme between all of them, right? There's like 45 All-Star selections, like 19 All NBA selections, like all the different stats, right? they have so much experience, and experience means so much, right? In the league, you know, the young boys, you got the talent and the athleticism, all this other stuff. But what really gets the job done and gets to the finals is the mind. You have to be able to sustain mentally. So the Lakers, they have really the perfect formula. The only thing that's really gonna could potentially stop them is injuries, right? Injuries and you know, I don't see this thing not meshing, right? They're an all-star team, really. They really are. They have all-stars coming off the bench. So they need to get it done. It's their season, especially if Brooklyn don't figure out what they got going on with Kyrie. they need to win this year. They really do. And I think they will. I think they'll definitely get to the finals. Like I said, they need to stay healthy. Everybody needs to stay healthy, especially AD. You know, they need him to perform as well. So but I love the move.
Okay, so the Lakers, I can see them. Well, I think finals is like obvious. Like, I don't think, because Jamal Murray is still hurt. So I think that the Warriors healthy and maybe the Nuggets. I feel like those are the only two teams that have the star power to even compete with them in the 7-game series. I don't think Phoenix can compete with them. The Clippers healthy too. I forgot about the Clippers, but Kawhi's hurt, so I didn't have them. Luka on his own, he'd give them a run for their money, but in the 7-game series, I don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, the star power alone can get them out the West. Forget the chemistry. The star power alone can get them out the West. But with that being said, I think the key, everybody talking about Westbrook, I think the key here is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis needs to play like he's the best player in the league. He needs to look at that team and say, I'm the best player on this team. LeBron is in his 20th year. He's still LeBron, but I'm that guy. When we won the championship, I had the best stats that year. They had LeBron in the MVP running. You know, remember LeBron was like, him and Giannis. The year Giannis won his second MVP, they were saying LeBron's in there running the MVP. Anthony Davis was leading every category on that team, except for assists. But, you know, they always say when it's two superstars on one team, they get canceled out, so they can never win MVP. But when LeBron gets another superstar with less stats than him, they still got LeBron MVP. But that's another discussion. But after watching these preseason games, and people always say it's just preseason, and you can't have your cake and eat it too, because if Westbrook would have dropped 40, they would have been like, Westbrook looked good. But as soon as Westbrook get 8 turnovers in one game, they say it's just the preseason. I don't care if it's the preseason, the whatever it is. Like, you can't just go through the motions. You have to play basketball. Like, it's the preseason, but you still have to play basketball. And another thing I say about Westbrook is that you can't really judge the preseason. Even though I just said that, you can't judge it, because every time Russ gets to a new team, when he got to Houston, they were struggling. They got rid of the big man, figured it out. Then Houston started winning. He came to the Wizards. They were struggling. He didn't know how to play with everybody. They was messed up off COVID. They got healthy, made a playoff run. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like when him and the Lakers get some more chemistry going, they're going to be straight. Even without the chemistry, like I said, they can get to the finals. I don't think nobody in the West has the star power to compete with them. But Westbrook, every time he gets to a new team, they always start off slow. Always. And he figures it out, and they make a run. So we'll see, I guess. But that's what I got to say as of right now.
Yeah, and as far as nobody being able to compete with them in the West, I agree. The two teams you named, if I had to pick two teams, I probably would say them, because Kawhi is not due back until, maybe April. That, and he's finicky already with his injuries. He liable to tell him, yeah, I'm shutting it down for the rest of the year. So who knows with that. But the reason I just feel like the Lakers is maybe going to be a cakewalk is because with the Nuggets, I do like Jamal Murray coming back. But the performance that Aaron Gordon put on at the end of the season when they got him was terrible. It's not the player I thought. When they acquired Aaron Gordon, I thought, oh man, this is big. But watching him in the playoff, just watching him at the end of the season, I forgot he was on the team. And he just looked like a regular guy, which I never thought he was going to be that. But it's one of those sayings when maybe he's just a good player on a very bad team, and somebody got to score the points. And with the Warriors, Steph and Clay, two of the best shooters in the league still. I still think they both active, get around. You got Wiseman. I think he's going to be better. And then you got Wiggins. But the thing that I think that's going to hold them back, and also Jordan Poole, the way he's been playing, you can tell his confidence is going up and up. So I think that's a play on the rise for them. But the two factors where I think they're going to be the downfall is Iguodala and Draymond Green, because they're not the two same players they used to be. They still got a hit, but their body can't do the same thing. You're going to need them to go out. Draymond Green going to have to go out there and guard AD for this amount of minutes. Iguodala going to have to go out there and even guard. He's supposed to guard LeBron for this amount of minutes. And then you got players like Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench, which I'm not saying Carmelo Anthony is LeBron James at this point in his career, but he no slouch. And so for Iguodala to have to go out there and deal with that, and that they just not the same as far as their body. They can't play the same defense they used to, slide their feet the same way. You saw in the playoffs with Draymond Green, or the playing game, when Draymond Green missed that bunny floater. Back in the day, Draymond Green would have shot that shot with confidence and knowing, I'm the man. I can take these shots too. You could tell the shot that he shot it with, I'm looking for somebody to give it to, and oh man, I guess I just got to throw it up. And the Warriors should have won that game. They should have been playing the Lakers competing for a play-in game. So those are the two factors for the Warriors that I think are going to be their downfall. But I do know they have Andrew Wiggins, and people sleep on him for his defense. But if you go check the opponent's field goal percentage against him, that'll show
he should have been 13. If you ask me, he should have been 13.
That's what I got on the Warriors and the Nuggets.
Don't discount my boy Ja. It wasn't because of Draymond. It was because of Ja. Okay? Memphis was hooping that game. That's all I'm going to say on that.
But what you said about Draymond is right offensively. But defensively, he's still there. Like, I can't remember on the top of my head how healthy AD was when they played the Warriors. But Draymond had Anthony Davis on clamps when he was guarding him one-on-one. Anthony Davis didn't get off until he started catching oops and getting off-ball play. But isolation situations, Anthony Davis couldn't do nothing on Draymond. Just like how he used to do Blake Griffin.
You know, and I agree. Draymond is the heart and soul of that team. You take Draymond out, I don't think Warriors have the same run they've had over the past kind of 5 to 6 years, right? You know, just his presence means a lot, right? And also his passing, right? A lot of the clips of, you know, the shots that Steph is getting, it's off of dimes from Draymond and the movement. He knows how to get them the ball. There's the chemistry there. So he's definitely a piece that they can't kind of go without. So we'll see what happens though.
And to bring it all back to what we were talking about with the Russell Westbrook thing, me being a Wizards fan, I got to see him up close and personal last year. And the only thing I think that's going to get them, Russell Westbrook shoots a lot of shots that make you just want to pull your hair out. It be in the worst moments too. So it's going to be very interesting to see them this year when him playing with a LeBron James who, you know, he's not shy of, you know, pouting or making a face when his teammate does something, you know, out of whack, i.e. J.R. Smith. So, you know, Russell Westbrook is not one to hold his tongue either. So I'm not going to say they're not going to get along because, you know, LeBron James does get along with everybody. And Russell Westbrook off the court, he do seem like a good guy, but when you're in the court, it's a whole different thing.
Like, see, my thing with Westbrook is he plays hard. He fills up the stat sheet, but he doesn't get the job done. And he's been in multiple situations where he could have got the job done. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't make those plays to get you to win. You know what I'm saying? And he's playing with LeBron James now. I know that's totally different from his whole career, but I honestly just got to wait to see it, man, because like, he don't make the plays to get I tell Joe this all the time, man. They was playing against us in the playoffs last year. He had a triple-double. They was like, he's at the free throw line. They was like, oh, he's at the 14th playoff triple-double, this and that. I'm like, bro, he's 3 for 19. He's 3 for 19. Like, you can't win when your best player is 3 for 19, bro.
Shoot.
I
You're right. If you can shoot, though.
I do
Go
agree
ahead.
with that, but we gotta remember on all these times that Russell Westbrook didn't get the job done the first time. Kevin Durant didn't get the job done either. James Harden didn't get the job done, or Paul George. James Harden didn't get the job done. And this is my guy, but last year in the playoffs, Bradley Beal was, he missed a lot of shots. And I think it falls on you at this point in the career. You know what Russell Westbrook is, so you can't rely on him to be your fourth quarter money guy. And the guys that were supposed to be the fourth quarter money guys, they didn't get the job done either. But a lot of the onus always fall on Westbrook.
Awesome. So the Lakers have 7 former All-Stars. They have a combined of 103 seasons played and 59 All-Star appearances. So they do have experience. They definitely got experience. All right. So we're gonna go into another break. When we come back, we talked about the juggernaut of the West. Now we gotta go to the East and talk about the Brooklyn Nets. So stay around. We'll see you after the break.
Weak dudes, the blues, and separate them from their Jews. Teach them don'ts and do's. I'm raised to.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show. Now, before we continue with the show, I need you to do a few things for me. Number 1, like this video. Very easy. Click the like button. Number 2, subscribe. Very easy also. Hit the subscribe button. Number 3, something else is easy. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified next time we put out a video. Number 4, click the share button and share it to someone who you think would like this video. And last but not least, most important, continue enjoying the show. So Brooklyn lost to the Milwaukee Bucks last year at Game 7, but they had injuries with Kyrie and James Harden. The Nets still have a mission to be a championship team this year, but they do have some complications. Kyrie is unwilling to take the vaccine to be vaccinated, so that means he can't play home games. So what the Nets decided to do is to sit him until he's full-time available to play with the team. Right, so now the Nets did add some pieces. They do have LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty Mills, Paul Millsap, some great pieces to add to their championship core. So I'm gonna start with you, Elijah. Will the Nets win the finals? Not get to the finals, I should say, without Kyrie Irving.
They will. It's not going to be easy, but they will. And with him, you can say they may be, a solid buy-in for the championship. Right. But Kyrie's a major distraction at this point. But the Nets are kind of determined, as you can see, the past couple of weeks, how they've been handling the situation. They've been determined to do what's best for them. And Kyrie is trying to do what's best for him. Right. So I respect both sides. This brings into the conversation, are organizations and companies, do they have the power or jurisdiction to force people to take these vaccines? Right. So it's a bigger conversation. And I understand what he's doing. I understand what he's standing for. But as a basketball fan, I want to see my boy on the court. Kyrie is my personal favorite point guard. And he's an elite one-on-one player. No one can guard him one-on-one. He is an automatic bucket. And with him on the floor, they win the championship last year. Right. So I want to see him hooping. I hope they can get to some sort of agreement. As these things always kind of fizzle out, hey, either Kyrie folds, he gets the vaccine, or they find some sort of workaround. I want to see him hoop this year. But if he doesn't, you still have James Harden and KD and Joe Harris, who happened to be the best three-point shooter on that team last year. Imagine someone who's not James Harden, who took the most three-point field goals in the past couple seasons, and KD, who's automatic from 3. Joe Harris is one of your best three-point shooters. That's crazy to me. They added a great team around them. Patty Mills is there. They lost my boy Jarrett Allen, who was a great defender for them. The only concern with Brooklyn I have is their defense, right? Because Blake Griffin isn't a defender, but when you can drop 140 a game, do you really need to play defense? In the playoffs, they're going to get tested, right? Because you can't always rely on these kind of last second shots from a KD or James Harden because they can also miss. So you need to make sure you have a comfortable cushion. But they will definitely make it to the finals. They will definitely make it out the East. They're still a favorite. I do want to see Kyrie play. So I hope they can come to understanding. But my Brooklyn Nets are going to go far.
So everything you said about the Kyrie vaccination situation was spot on. I agree 100%. I don't understand why everybody's mad. Like everybody keeps saying, you signed up to play basketball. Yeah, I signed up to play basketball before COVID happened. Now COVID is here and I don't want to take the shot. I mean, what's the big deal? It's my body. So with that being said, I think they're still the favorites. I think they're still the obvious favorites. I don't think they're overwhelming like they were with Kyrie, but I think they're still the favorites. Like they took the Bucks 7 games when James Harden was on one leg. Now, if James Harden was healthy, like you think he would have had, I mean, he could have been 10% healthier than he was, and they probably would have won. Like he would have had more lift on his jump shot. He would have been able to go to the basket a little bit more. Like all they needed was a little bit more from James Harden. You give them a healthy James Harden, who's arguably the best facilitator in the league, forget scoring. He's arguably the best facilitator of an offense in the NBA. He's an all-time great facilitator and all-time great scorer. That's a very rare combination. But I don't see in a 7-game series, I don't think it's possible for them to lose if they have two, you know, for KD and Kyrie, you know what I mean? Or KD and Harden, either one. But KD has to be there. But I don't see how anybody can beat them in a 7-game series. They just added Paul Millsap, which is a huge pickup if you ask me. Like that was a huge pickup. Everybody keeps saying, like, it's crazy because it's like whatever they're saying about the Lakers' old players, they're not saying about Brooklyn old players. And then whatever they're saying about Brooklyn's old players, they're not saying about the Lakers' old players. It's like, bro, if they old, they old. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're not asking them to be the same player that they were. So if Paul Millsap could be 50 years old, if all I got to do is come in and play 15 minutes and hit a couple pick and roll layups, I can do that. You know what I mean? That's all they need from Aldridge, Paul Millsap, and even Blake Griffin. So I don't see anybody. I honestly, even with the Lakers, with Russ, I think their toughest matchup is going to be Milwaukee. I think the toughest matchup is going to be Milwaukee. Milwaukee got better. I mean, not got better. Giannis got better. All I had to see was 10 minutes of a preseason game, and I saw that Giannis got better. Like, he hit a couple mid-range shots. You could just see how comfortable he was shooting those. Like, step backs. Because, you know, the way he loads his shot up, he can't really shoot too many contested jumpers because, you know, it's so awkward. But in the preseason, he hit a couple. And it's like, first of all, he's not going to have to worry about too many people contesting his shots because he's so tall. But he just looks so comfortable shooting the ball. And him getting better means that team got better. So I think Milwaukee will be their toughest matchup in a 7-game series. But I think they're the favorite still.
All right, audience, you heard that first. That's a hot take from Jamo. He said Milwaukee will be their toughest matchup over the Lakers. Remember that.
Yep, remember.
So, starting back to the question with the vaccine, Kyrie Irving, everything, I agree with both of these fellas here. I don't think that he should be forced to take this. I think it's being taken to something way further than just basketball. Of course, I don't want to see him on the floor, but I get both sides of it. I get the people who want to, you know, agree to take this. They say they're doing it for their families or just their health or their beliefs. And I agree with Kyrie Irving's side. He believes something different, and it shouldn't be. If you don't do this, you should be fired. But that's what's going on at this point because at the end of the day, he doesn't own the NBA. He doesn't make the rules or the guidelines. So you just got to follow those guidelines and rules of that. So now jumping back to with the Nets, will they get to the championship without Kyrie Irving? Yeah, for sure. I think for sure, like they said, it's pretty easy with just having James Harden and Kevin Durant. If you go back to, like Jamo said last year, James Harden was on one leg and they came down to, you know, one of Kevin Durant's shots and just too far over the line. And Now I'm gonna throw my hot take in there. At a point in the season, I was feeling as James Harden was the best player on that team, if you ask me, as far as just from he facilitated the ball, he scored the ball, he got everybody involved. Kevin Durant had that one game when he did that, which was great, but you see he couldn't do it every single night like a LeBron James does for his whole career, getting his teammates involved, but going out, getting you 10 rebounds, 8 assists, a couple block shots, playing defense, and finishing the game on scoring. Now, to jump to you, Elijah, because you know you had a lot to say about your boy Joe Harris, which was good in the regular season. But if you could tell me where he was at during the playoffs, because just go, somebody put the stats up for me. Check his stats. Terrible. You talking about couldn't hit the side of a bond? That was Joe Harris. So it's gonna be this is a big year for him to really show what he can do, because he was great in the regular season. You thought like he was going crazy shooting the 3 ball. When it came to the playoffs, their unsung hero was Jeff Green, and they're going to miss him. Now they did sign Paul Millsap. Now Paul Millsap and Jeff Green, their game to me is totally different. I do think Jeff Green can still get up a little higher than Paul Millsap, even though he didn't make it easy for me with that dunk he just had in the preseason. He's not going to talk about that. So I do think they're going to miss Jeff Green, and the biggest thing is going to be defense for them. Even though people not giving LaMarcus Aldridge credit for the, he's not the best shot blocker, but he protects the rim because he's a big body, and he was taught good in San Antonio. Stand there, put your hands up. So I do think the Brooklyn Nets can get to the championship. Only team I think that may stand a chance with them in the East is the Milwaukee Bucks, but I have to see the series because losing PJ Tucker is losing a big player.
That's true. That's true. I forgot they lost PJ.
Awesome. All right, yeah. Joe Harris, he actually in the playoffs against the Bucks, he averaged 9 points a game, shooting 32% from 3. All right, so his numbers did drop tremendously. And without Kyrie, the Brooklyn Nets are still a favorite to win the NBA Finals. All right, so that's that. All right, that's a great segment. We got to go to another break, and then we're going to end it with 3 quick questions and answers. So stick around. We'll see you after the break. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show. Now, before we continue with the show, I need you to do a few things for me. Number 1, like this video. Very easy. Click the like button. Number 2, subscribe. Very easy also. Hit the subscribe button. Number 3, something else is easy. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified next time we put out a video. Number 4, click the share button and share it to someone who you think would like this video. And last but not least, most important, continue enjoying the show. All right, so we're back. We're down to our last 3 questions. So I'm going to start off with asking you, Jamo. So, Jamo, who will have a breakout season this year?
Okay, I got 2. First one is Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba's healthy this year. If he stays healthy, I think he'll have a breakout season. I do. My first pick was, and I don't know if anybody's going to say this, but Devinne, you've been saying it this whole time. My first pick was Jordan Poole.
That's my guy.
But, I feel like we've been talking about him, so I ain't want to say him. So I think Mo Bamba, if he stays healthy, I think, because he hasn't been healthy since he got in the league, I think he can have a breakout season. Even if the team's not doing good, he can defend the rim, he can score on his own, not like at an elite level, but if he got like a Vucevic or whoever, somebody who can't really slide their feet in front of him, he can take him out to the mid post, reverse pivot, and go past him. He has that kind of game, and he can stretch the floor, picking and popping, and he catch the oop. He like 7'4", 7'3". So that's who my breakout player is as far as making a name for themselves. Now, I think this next person is going to break out to a legit star, and that's Kerris Leverk. Kerris Leverk put people on notice that he can score, but I think he's going to break out to a legit star this season. Like, he's going to be right on the cusp of Levine and those guys. Like, I think he's that good. So those are my 2 breakout players.
All right. I like it, I like Mo Bamba. out of Texas. Remember that. And Kerris Leverk always been my guy.
Yeah. Oh.
I actually had I had three, but like Jamo said, we've been talking about Jordan Poole, so I think everybody feels that he's going to have a good year this year. So the two people I actually had first, I had THT. I feel like, you know, he's going to get a bigger role with the Lakers this year, and he's really going to showcase a lot of his talent more than what we already done seen. We all know, you know, he can, you know, come in and score on secondary players, bench players. But I think he's going to get a lot of, you know, starting opportunities this year. Once he comes back healthy, I think he has a thumb injury right now. But once he comes back healthy, I really believe he's going to break out because, you know, you can just see it in his game. He got a scoring nick to him. His body, he don't have, it's like a James Harden. He's not the most muscular. He don't look the most athletic. But when you can score the rock, you can score the rock. And my second player, who I really think is going to have a breakout year, is Davion Mitchell from the Sacramento Kings. This is a player, shout out to Joe. This is a player who I feel not a lot of people come in the league with like a motor like he has. When I was talking about like Westbrook and Antetokounmpo. First of all, I'm not even talking about his offense. On the defensive end, he's one of those players who he's going to terrorize point guards, whoever, every single night. And I know I'm not in the NBA, but I can just imagine when you make that level, everybody not coming into every game coming 100%. Sometimes people want to, you know, take games off. But this guy, you're going to have him on him. If you take a game off, he will embarrass you. That's how I feel as far as on the defensive end. And, you know, he's going to be a pest, and it's just going to be too much for a lot of players, especially the younger players. And then on the offensive end, he's not really a liability at all. If you watch him in Baylor, you know, he can shoot the ball, he can shoot the three. He drives to the lane hard. I can't think of who he reminds me of as far as a player-wise. But I do think he's going to have a very good breakout year. So those are my two breakout season players.
Those are great picks. You surprised me with the Mo Bamba selection, you know, because everybody kind of forgot about him since that song dropped.
Yeah.
And Davion, he had a great run with Baylor. Great run. I loved him. I was watching and I was like, yo, he's gonna be a problem when he get into the league. So me, another young bull, same team as Mo. My pick is Cole Anthony. Shout out North Carolina. I think he's still getting adjusted to the league, to how everything is working. He's learning, he's growing, and I really want to see what he can do with the Magic, a nice young team. So we'll see what they can do. You know, there's no expectation for them, and you know, when there's no expectation, you know, you can just ball out. So you know, I would love to see them like maybe 9th, 8th seed, maybe even sneak in the playoffs. We'll see, but Magic will be nice this year.
Awesome.
And
go ahead.
Davion Mitchell, he's athletic too. He can finish at the rim, left, right. He can shoot off the dribble. He can shoot. Like, he come out the pick and roll, you can back up if you want, big man. I'm pulling this. He can play. I actually think this is one of the best drafts in recent history. Like, these guys can hoop. A lot of these guys can hoop. Like, legit, take them around the way and hoop at a court. You take them to Barry Farms, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys can really play, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I like those picks. I like everybody's picks. The reason why I probably like Cole Anthony the least, because they got a lot of people at his position. Like, they got RJ Hampton, they got Jalen Suggs, they still got Markelle Fultz, and they got Cole Anthony. So maybe the first couple of games we can see how the minutes go. But I think Cole Anthony definitely probably like the lead guard over there right now. So
yeah. I was about to say there's another dude from Baylor. I'm forgetting his name, but he's in the league. He's on the Jazz. What?
No,
Butler. He's a bucket.
Yeah.
He's a bucket.
Yeah. Butler's nice.
He's a bucket. That Baylor team was nice.
Yeah, because I don't really watch college basketball like I used to, but I watch the tournament. And I think Davion Mitchell won Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years in that in that conference. So yeah. Shout out to you, Joe. Y'all think y'all got one. Yeah. Now y'all just need to give up Fox now.
Nah. He's terrible on defense though, man. He he is like aggravating on defense. Like when you, De'Aaron Fox says, when I watch him play defense, my legs hurt just watching him. That's what he said, De'Aaron Fox. All right, but yeah, I like all those picks. Great job, y'all. All right, and next question, I'm gonna start with you, Devinne. So, which team that's hyped up this? No, we're not saying hyped up to the max, but you know, we all have expectations on each team. You know, so which team will not live up to their expectations?
So the team that I feel like will not live up to their expectations, and actually I feel like they will have a worse year than they had last year, is the Portland Trailblazers. And the reason I say that is they just didn't make enough moves. There's too many moves that was made in the West. Like even with the Phoenix Suns are not doing what they did last year. And so if I say the Phoenix Suns are not going to do what they did last year, you know, I'm really putting Portland way below them. I feel like the runs they've been having, they've been a major disappointment. I feel like CJ McCollum, is he getting to the point, more so in that Ben Simmons talk also, but we keep giving you a pass because everybody talks about, man, CJ this score, CJ can do this, but at the end of the day, CJ just haven't been getting it done. And they're not giving Damian Lillard no type of help. I feel like they're going to lose. This is the year they lose him, whether it's the trade deadline or at the end of the year, if he's not under contract. But for the most part, I feel like he has to be traded or he's going to be disruptive there or start making noise because he's giving them too many chances. And when I say they did nothing, like the team is just, there's no way they can compete with a lot of these teams in the West. And I really think, I don't want to say this because Damian Lillard, I got so much respect for him, but I don't know if they make the playoffs this year. You got a young Memphis team that's hungry, want to make the playoffs. The Pelicans, I'm not too sold on them, but I know they want to come back and give a good impression. You got the Mavericks, you got the Clippers, the Lakers. It's going to be tough for them. You got the Rockets. I'm not counting the Rockets out, but that could be a sneaky team to come, you know, AC. You know, you got the big man, Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., and Jalen Green. They looking real good, so it's going to be interesting. But Portland is my team that I feel like is going to, you know, just not live up to their potential this
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that. Portland is a mess right now. Either they need to get some trades or Dame needs to leave. But for me, switching over to the East side,
next.
My pick is Boston. And you know, being in the New England area, there's always expectations for Boston. You know, they have a solid core, all these different things, Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart. But consistently, year after year, you know, they just can't figure it out. Some say it's the coach and Brad Stevens, which they just kind of did some administration switch-arounds there. So we'll see what this kind of new staff is talking about. But I don't know about this year. Like I really hope and wish that they can make a solid playoff run, because we know they'll be like 5th or 4th, maybe even 6th seed, right? We know they're always there in the conversation, but in the NBA, you know, you either got to be really good or really bad, right? Because there's options. You know, you can't be in the middle. You can't be consistently just, you know, we want to see something out of it. So maybe they get out of the first round. I don't know, but Boston, they need to get it together.
Okay, mine is the Hawks. Like, I think they peaked out. Like, unless they make a move. Like, the roster they have right now, I don't care how good those players get. They're not doing that again. They need to make another move to do that again, I feel like. You know what I mean? They do. Because Trae Young can, like, I just don't see them doing that again. I think they're a well-coached team. I like their team. I like Capella. Like, I really like Capella. Capella go hard. He go hard on defense. He rebounds. You know what I'm saying? But he just don't score. And when you have somebody on your team that's on the floor that plays that many minutes that doesn't score, somebody else got to help Trae Young. Now I know these other guys can score, but can they create their own shot? You see what I'm saying? And when you can't create your own shot, like I don't see the Hawks running into, like, even if they run into the Knicks again this year, Knicks are a different team. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be a different series if you ask me. 2, are they gonna run into another situation like we had last year where the guy won't shoot? Are they gonna run into another situation like that? Because if not, they lose that series easily. You see what I'm saying? So I just don't see them doing that again. So that's my team. Like, I don't know what the expectations are. I don't know what people thinking they're going to do this year, but if we're basing it off last year, I just think that's my team. That's I don't think they're going to make that run again, even though they were a 5th seed.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. See, I understand Portland, but Atlanta like that for real. You need to stop playing.
I mean, how good are they? Think about it. I mean, think about it. You got Brooklyn, they losing. Milwaukee, they're losing. Miami, they're losing. They're not going to beat Chicago. Yeah, they're losing to Miami. They're losing Miami. Miami is a well-coached defensive team, and they only have one bucket getter. They're losing. They're losing. They might lose to Indiana.
This is blasphemous.
It's
Indiana?
not blasphemy. Indiana
Kerris
wasn't
Leverk?
healthy.
Please.
Yeah, Indiana wasn't healthy last year, bro.
Market, what they got? Brogdon?
They got Brogdon, who's solid. I mean, they got Brogdon. Brogdon is on the same level than everybody else on that Hawks team except Trae Young. Yes. Who on the Hawks is better than Brogdon?
Capella.
What?
I give that to Reddish.
Reddish? He ain't even played enough minutes to be better than Brogdon. Listen, Indiana was not healthy. Indiana was not healthy. They didn't like Sabonis is like that. Sabonis is better than everybody on that Hawks team except Trae Young. Miles Turner is an elite rim protector. He should be in running for Defensive Player of the Year some years, but I don't know if he be getting hurt and don't play enough games or not or what.
But we're forgetting a key player that Atlanta has that these other teams don't have. And it's my man, Mr. Lemon Pepper Lou. Lou Williams. A certified bucket. Stop playing.
Certified.
They also have,
a certified old head. But go ahead.
That brings experience to the young boys, and they need that. They also have Delano Gallinari, right? A bucket who can stretch the floor. He can shoot it. He was getting buckets in that last season, right? They have John Collins, a rising star. Do you not see the lives he's been getting, right? The shooting, like they have all the key pieces, and they're young. And what's surprising is young teams aren't supposed to be this good, but they've seemed to you hit a flow, especially last year. And they added pieces, kept the same core, have shooters. They can go far.
Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Jamo there. I don't think Atlanta going far at all. You got to realize, like, you brought up John Collins, but look at the game Trae Young didn't play in, and I think it was the last game they lost. Cam Reddish was the only one that could actually get his own point. The only one that could score. Without Trae Young there, what is John Collins? A guy running around looking for. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't create his own shot. And
that's why they have Cooper coming off the bench.
I do like Tariq Cooper, but I'm not going to put all my eggs in this young rookie who, I got to see more from him. But the reason I rooted for Atlanta so much last year because I knew they were so Cinderella-ish. They wasn't doing this again. I was even shocked with what they did, especially with Philly. But like he said, it was circumstances. What's the chances that that's going to happen again? Say they run up against Brooklyn or Milwaukee or Miami. I don't know why you sleeping on Miami, because you got to think the year before Miami did the same thing the Hawks did, got all the way there without these players that they got now. Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, a hero that's a little bit better.
Oladipo.
Oh man, I forgot about.
No, we gotta wait to see what he looked like, but I forgot they had him. Dang,
Miami's nice. Miami's really nice.
And then you got a Jimmy Butler. Like you got so many options. Hey Jimmy, you go track Trae Young. Hey Victor, you go take him for a little bit. You just Kyle Lowry, you go take him for a little bit. And then when he get to the paint, hey Bam, Don't let them do nothing. So it's going to be interesting to see if Atlanta was I won't call them fluke because it's hard to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, especially against a big boy like B. But I don't think it was every consistent year they're going to be doing this. They're not no powerhouse or even knocking on as a powerhouse.
Yeah, they got to make another move, man. They need some more star power. Like, I feel the same way about Donovan Mitchell. Like, as good as their record is, as good as they play as a team, they're going to forever get out in the second round until they get some more star power. So that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Unless you Detroit Pistons in 2004, you better get you some stars because that's just what it is.
That's all the league is now. Super team everywhere. You need to team up, right? Can't get
like, I mean, think about, you mentioned Boston. Boston got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Who else they got? I mean, Marcus Smart, but like, who else?
They got
the stars alone is going to get them to the 4th or 5th or 6th seed. The stars alone. You see what I'm saying? So they just need some. I just don't see Atlanta doing that again.
They also added Dennis Schroeder on his track. They got Al Horford. I'm looking up the roster because I'm like, and I mean that's pretty much Jabari Parker is good, but about second round at
Peyton Pritchard. Don't forget about Peyton Pritchard.
True.
Yeah. I actually like Indiana because just look at their starting five. They got Brogdon, T.J. Warren, Kerris Leverk, Sabonis, and Miles Turner. That's a nice starting five. You know what I mean? And like Jamo said, they were hurt last year. Kerris Leverk was my breakout player this year. I think he would be an all-star this year. That's my opinion. You know, because he's been growing every single year. You know, and he finally got his team. Not saying because Sabonis is good too, but he's like, as far as a guard, this is his team, Indiana. So I'm looking forward to see how they look. But no, those are all great picks, though. All great picks. The last question, and you're gonna start off this, Elijah, right? The last question.
Who's yours, Joe?
Well, as far as what?
Your team.
Expectations. I mean, I was thinking Atlanta myself because I don't think Atlanta will. I don't think Atlanta will make out the first round next year. All depends on who they match up with. They gotta have a good matchup for them to get the first round. So that was my pick, Atlanta, also. Because I think because you got teams like Indiana. Like Indiana was in the mix. I think Indiana is gonna be a difference maker in the playoffs this year. And I like what you said, Elijah. You said that in the playoffs, well, in the NBA, you can get away with this in NFL. But in the NBA, you gotta be either great or bad. And when you're in between, nothing's good out of that. You know, like when you're bad, you can get draft capital, XYZ, blah, blah, right? When you're great, you have an opportunity to win. But when you're in between in the NBA, it's like you're like in a lost world. The only positive about being good is you get playoff recognition. Teams might look at you and say, you know what, if I'm in that organization, maybe they'll go off the hump. That's the only good thing you can be. That's the only good thing about being good.
Yeah. Chicago's also in the mix too. I know they're young. I know we don't know what they can do yet. But off these clips I've been seeing in the preseason, when I heard about the moves, I'm like, okay, this will be really interesting. So
Chicago gonna be the real deal. Chicago gonna be the real deal.
Zach LaVine looks comfortable.
He fresh off a gold medal, and you know what happened when they come off that gold medal.
All right. So now, speaking of elite players, so this last question, I'm gonna start off with you, Elijah. So I need all of y'all to give me who will win the MVP this year.
I feel like the MVP award has kind of lost its significance over the past couple of years because it should have gone to some people and it hasn't. But this year, there's a number of great stars and players in the league. Some say Luka, some say LeBron, some say KD might get it. But we also have to see how far these people can go into the playoffs. And I wouldn't give it to Luka. Yes, he's a star, but are the Mavs getting out the West? No. So I'd have to see. It's either going to go back to Antetokounmpo or I'd give it to KD. So if I had to stamp one, I say Antetokounmpo and the Bucks get it again because we haven't been talking about them, but he is a champion. So and he also improved his shot. this summer. I was just looking at some preseason clips, and the boy jumper looks smooth. So that's scary. That's very scary. I go Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, Antetokounmpo is probably the safest pick. He probably the safest pick. I didn't have KD because I thought they were going to have a big three. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to give him MVP credit if he got the big three over there.
Yeah.
So, but with Kyrie gone, I mean, KD. But my pick, and the reason why I had this pick is because, like, teams, everybody, like a lot of the MVP front runners, some of them are on stacked teams. And it's like, you can't give it to people that's on a stacked team. So I had Embiid, but I don't think Embiid is going to win MVP this year. I think I do have Embiid for scoring title, though. And this is no biasness intended. I do have him for scoring title. But my MVP pick is Luka. Luka's my MVP pick. To piggyback on what you said, MVP is a regular season award. So they don't take that playoff stuff into account. Now, if he flames out in the playoffs like Giannis did, which is probably why he didn't get consideration last year because he flamed out the year before, then they wouldn't give you consideration because they're like, man, in the playoffs, he don't even do that in the playoffs, so I ain't giving him credit. But Luka don't flame out in the playoffs. So Luka's my pick. Luka, and people could say it's just the preseason, but Luka and Porzingis look better in those preseason games than they looked all year last year.
It looks like they figured it out.
Whoever that dude, they got Jason Kidd over there. Jason
so.
Kidd is making them share the ball, making them play together, and Luka's gonna get the stats just because he's Luka. And he came in shape. He's in better shape than he was last year. Last year he started off slow because he was a little heavy. He you know what I mean? I remember Rick Carlisle making a statement that you're a superstar now, so you got to start acting like it. You got to take better care of yourself. So Luka coming in better shape, and he's my MVP favorite coming into the season.
Yeah.
So my MVP seemed like my button been already pressed, but I'm gonna press it anyway, and I'm gonna guarantee that my MVP this year will be Luka Doncic. Like piggybacking off what Jamo said, the MVP is a regular season award, and you gotta listen to what MVP is, most valuable player. So I feel like the most valuable player to his team is Luka Doncic. Like the Clippers, the Mavericks stood no chance against the Clippers without him. I think they played him 2 straight years, and it was just it was hard to watch, especially the first year. Second year, he actually looked like he could do it if he got just a little bit of help, just a little bit, and that's very valuable because without him on the floor, like he couldn't even take breaks. He took maybe a minute break here and there, and I think this might be the first time that it's going to be done if this happens. But 2 players from over the water overseas that win MVP. You had Jokic win it one year, and then if Luka Doncic win it the next year, that'll be back to back. So they put the league on notice that we got some players too. So that's my MVP front runner right now.
And then Giannis won it the last 2 years. So that's 3. And then if Embiid didn't get hurt, he was gonna win it, so they would have been good regardless.
Yeah. So
that's a good point right there, Devin. That's a good point.
They
said the world was catching up. That's a good point.
That's true. Sorry, you got something?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
That's true. Yeah, the last 4 years, the MVPs were people outside the country, and I have Giannis too. I picked Giannis, and then Giannis is the safest pick. And I think Giannis would have had MVP considerations last year, but like Jamo said, he flamed out in the playoffs. So a lot of people didn't even talk about him last year when it came to MVP. They like, you got to show me the playoffs first before we give you another MVP. So now he's proven that. He put everybody on notice. He's in, like Jamo said, he's in a great situation as far as because you can't be on a stacked team to get the MVP somehow. He don't have another superstar with him, and they're going to win a lot of regular season games. And he's going to average like 28, 12, and 7 and 6 like that with 2 blocks. And he might be defensive player of the year again next year. You never know. So that's my pick is Giannis. All right. So we're going to close this out. I'm going to just give y'all a last word. All right. So we're going to start with Jamo. Any last words you want to say before we close out?
Appreciate you, bro. This has been great. You know, appreciate you for having me on. And we refuse to lose.
Yeah, I want to close out my statements by saying, you guys remember, you heard it here first from Jamo. The Brooklyn Nets are going to struggle with the Milwaukee Bucks as their toughest competition.
I about to say,
Remember
clean that
that.
up. I didn't say struggle.
Remember.
You got to fix that.
Toughest competition. Remember, you heard it here first. And live on Refuse to Lose. I appreciate all you guys. You know, it's been good debates. Everybody brought good solid points, and let's do it again.
Yes, sir.
No, most definitely. This is definitely fun rapping it with y'all. It's all love, always. And I'm gonna go off you. You heard it here first. It's gonna be Lakers Brooklyn in the finals. I promise you that. It's gonna be an interesting NBA season though, and I'm excited to see what goes on. But you know, that's the lock for the finals. But yeah, it's been great. Much love, always. Let's do it again.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Thanks for having y'all. Thanks for y'all watching. And we'll see y'all next week in the next episode.